Mealtimes. They're supposed to be simple, right? A moment of connection, a shared routine. But what do you do when that comforting ritual suddenly stops? When a simple spoonful of food is met with a clamped jaw and a turned head? Let's get into that.
Just picture it for a second. You've made their favorite soup.
The kitchen is warm, it smells good, all those familiar sounds and feelings that used to mean safety and comfort. But lately, something's different. You bring that spoon to their mouth and bam! Lips are clamped shut. Their head turns away. And in that moment, it can just feel so defeating, right? And honestly, really confusing.
Okay, but here's the most important thing to get. The one idea that's going to change everything for you. A clamped jaw isn't them being stubborn. It's not defiance, it's a message. And once we learn how to read that message, we can finally respond in a way that's full of compassion and, most importantly, dignity.
So right now, let's just completely reframe this whole challenge. We're going to stop seeing it as a behavior problem and start understanding it for what it is, a very clear form of communication.
You know, when you look at this through the lens of behavioral gerontology, which is really just the study of behavior in older adults, the message couldn't be clearer. It's a plea. It's saying, I need you to slow down. I need to feel safe right now. The spoon, the expectation, the pace, it can all feel like a threat. And that clamped jaw, it's a protective shield.
So to respond in a way that actually works, we first have to decode what's being said. Let's dig into some of the most common reasons this kind of feeding resistance happens in the first place.
The reasons can be all over the map. And a lot of times, they're all tangled together. It could be about a loss of control, a loss of autonomy. Or it could be sensory. Maybe a new texture is just completely overwhelming. Sometimes there are physical changes that make chewing harder, or a very real, very hidden fear of choking. It could even be something as simple as dental pain or a bad memory of being rushed through a meal in the past.
Okay, so now we get the why. Let's talk about the how. The gentle prompting method is a really practical, step-by-step way to handle this that always puts consent and dignity at the very top of the list.
So here's how it works. You always start with the smallest prompt you can, the least intrusive thing. Just let them see and smell the food. That's it. Next, you can model it. Take a little bite yourself. A really powerful step after that is to offer them the spoon. Give them back that sense of control. And only if it's absolutely necessary, you might use a light physical prompt, like gently guiding their elbow, never their face. But honestly, this last step is probably the most crucial one of all.
And that last step is fading your prompts. This is so important. Because listen, the goal here isn't to make them dependent on your help. The real goal is to build their confidence back up and restore their independence one tiny step at a time. I want you to think of it like a staircase. You're just gradually reducing how much support you give. So maybe you start by guiding their wrist, but then you move to just guiding their elbow. After that, you could just shadow their hand, keeping yours close by just in case. And eventually, all you might need is a little gesture or a quiet verbal cue until finally, they're doing it on their own. This whole process builds so much trust and protects their dignity every step of the way. Okay, but what if you try all of this and you're still met with resistance? Let's go through some common troubleshooting questions that caregivers run into all the time. So if you're still running into a wall, here's a quick checklist. Try changing the environment. Is it too noisy? Too bright? Maybe offer tiny microbites instead of a full spoonful. That can feel way less threatening. Do a quick check for anything physical. Could it be dental pain, a dry mouth? And a big one, consider switching to finger foods, which hands their autonomy right back to them. But above all, just slow everything down. Now here's a really key question you have to ask yourself. Is this a motor problem, meaning they physically can't open their mouth? Or is it behavioral, meaning they won't? If it's a physical thing, you absolutely need to see a specialist. But if it's behavioral, you'll start to notice a pattern. The jaw will often relax the second you take the spoon away, and that's your clue. That tells you the spoon itself has become the trigger. Think of this as your playbook for what to do in those specific moments. If they swat your hand away, that's a clear sign of overwhelm. So just stop, pause, reset the whole environment. If they tell you, I'm not hungry, don't argue. Instead, give them back some control by offering a simple choice, like, would you like warm applesauce or cold? And if they spit food out, well, that's just clear feedback that the texture or taste isn't working for them. Time to try something else. You see, all of these little techniques, they're all built on one simple but really powerful philosophy that should guide every single one of these interactions. Part of that philosophy is about changing our own expectations about time.
A calm, successful mealtime for a person with dementia might take up to 60 minutes. Your goal is not to be efficient. Your goal is connection without stress. I promise you, rushing will always make the resistance worse.
And that brings us to a question that I know a lot of caregivers really struggle with, mainly because it goes against our social norms. And that question is it really okay to let them eat with their fingers? The answer is yes, 100% yes, absolutely. Helping a person get back their sense of control, their autonomy, is so much more important than worrying about traditional table manners. In fact, finger foods can completely remove that spoon threat from the equation. So look, if there is only one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this right here. The goal isn't just about getting food into someone, it's about honoring the person sitting in front of you. Because at the end of the day, hunger should never, ever outweigh dignity.